Have you ever wondered what the very first world map looked like? It's something we take for granted today, with satellite imagery and GPS at our fingertips. But imagine a time over 2,600 years ago, a time of myth and mystery, when someone dared to draw the entire world for the first time. That person was Anaximander, an ancient Greek thinker who lived from about 610 to 546 BC. He wasn't just a mapmaker. He was a philosopher, an astronomer, and a true pioneer of scientific thought. His story isn't just about drawing lines on a tablet. It's about a revolutionary shift in how humanity saw itself and its place in the cosmos. Let us journey back to ancient Greece and uncover the story of the man who first mapped the world. Anaximander lived in Miletus, a bustling port city in what is now modern-day Turkey. Miletus was a crossroads of cultures and ideas, a place where sailors and merchants brought back tales of distant lands and strange customs. This environment was the perfect incubator for a curious mind like Anaximander's. He was a student of Thales, who is often called the first philosopher. While Thales believed everything was made of water, Anaximander took a more abstract approach. He proposed the existence of something he called the apeiron, an infinite, boundless substance from which everything originates, and to which everything returns. This kind of abstract thinking was groundbreaking, and it set the stage for his equally revolutionary work in geography. Before Anaximander, maps weren't really maps in the way we think of them. They were more like itineraries, or symbolic representations. For example, the Babylonians had a world map, but it was centered on Babylon and depicted the world as a flat disk surrounded by a bitter river, with mythical islands beyond. It was more a reflection of their worldview and mythology than a practical tool for navigation or understanding geography. Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, also described a world that was a flat disk encircled by the great river Ocean. This was the common understanding of the world, a small, known circle of land surrounded by water and myth. Anaximander decided to challenge this. He wanted to create a map based on observation, reason, and proportion, not just myth. Unfortunately, his original map has been lost to time. No clay tablets or papyrus scrolls from Anaximander himself have survived. So how do we know about it? We know about his map through the writings of later Greek historians and geographers like Herodotus and Strabo. They described his work, sometimes critically, but their descriptions allow us to piece together what this first world map might have looked like. It's like being a historical detective, reconstructing a lost masterpiece from the clues left behind. Based on these accounts, Anaximander's map also depicted the world as a circular disk. This might sound similar to the Babylonian and Homeric views, but the key difference was in its internal structure and the principles behind it. Anaximander's map was symmetrical. He divided the world into two main continents, Europe and Asia. The dividing line was not arbitrary. It was formed by major bodies of water known to the Greeks. The Mediterranean Sea in the center, the Black Sea, and a river believed to be the Phasis River in modern-day Georgia. Greece was placed centrally, but the overall design aimed for a kind of geometric balance. Europe was on one side of the divide, and Asia, which included what we now call Africa, or Libya, as the Greeks called it, was on the other. The entire landmass was still shown as being encircled by the great river Ocean. Now, you might think that doesn't sound very accurate. And you'd be right. The shapes of the continents were wrong, the scale was off, and it was missing, well, most of the world. But to judge it by modern standards is to miss the point entirely. The genius of Anaximander's map was not its accuracy, but its methodology. He was the first person we know of to attempt to draw the entire inhabited world. Oikoumene, in Greek, to scale in with a rational, geometric basis. He tried to represent the known world in its proper proportions, based on the information gathered from sailors and travelers. This was a monumental leap from maps based on religious beliefs or mythological stories. He was treating geography as a science. Anaximander's map wasn't just a drawing, it was part of a larger cosmological vision. He didn't just map the Earth, he tried to understand its place in the universe. He famously proposed that the Earth was a cylinder, suspended freely in space, held in place because it was equidistant from everything else. This was a radical idea. Everyone else thought the Earth had to be resting on something, on water, on pillars, on a giant turtle, you name it. Anaximander said no, it just floats. This concept of the Earth being a free-floating body in the center of the cosmos was a crucial step towards understanding gravity and celestial mechanics, ideas that would be developed thousands of years later. His map was a physical representation of this new, rational worldview. By drawing the world, he was organizing human knowledge about it. He was making the world understandable, measurable, and subject to human reason. This map would have been an incredible tool for education and a powerful statement of intellectual confidence. Imagine being a Greek in the 6th century BC and seeing this map for the first time. It would have been mind-blowing. It would have presented a clear, organized picture of the world, replacing vague myths with defined coastlines and a sense of order. Anaximander's work laid the foundation for all of Western geography. Later mapmakers, like Hecutas, improved upon Anaximander's map, adding more details and correcting some of its inaccuracies based on new information. The great historian Herodotus, while critical of the map's perfect circular symmetry, still used the geographical framework established by these early Milesian thinkers. The tradition continued through figures like Eratosthenes, who famously calculated the circumference of the Earth with remarkable accuracy, and Ptolemy, whose Geographia would become the standard authority on map-making. For over 1,500 years, all of these later achievements stand on the shoulders of Anaximander. He was the one who took the first, crucial step. So, while his map was geographically flawed, its intellectual legacy is immense. It represents the birth of scientific geography. It was a declaration that the world is not just a stage for gods and monsters, but a physical place that can be explored, measured, and understood through human intellect. Anaximander's map was more than just a map of the world. It was a map of a new way of thinking. It was a visual manifesto of the power of reason. The next time you glance at a globe or pull up Google Maps, take a moment to remember Anaximander of Miletus. Remember the ancient philosopher who, with a simple tablet and a revolutionary idea, dared to draw the world and, in doing so, changed how we see it forever. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient history and ideas, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the pioneers who shaped our world. Let me know in the comments what other historical topics you'd like to see covered. See you next time.